Here we go.
I'm good right here.
That's not this type of show.
Okay, you got it, Jason. Yeah, you bet. We'll fill in for you. No problem. You feel better. Okay, buddy. Yes. Bubba. You bet.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. What did he say?
He said he's feeling better. He slept better last night, and he's looking to make a comeback maybe tomorrow. Maybe. Fingers crossed. What's the over-under on that? We'll see.
It's not looking great.
No.
But maybe.
That he's feeling better. That's the main thing.
Instead, we get
Hello, I'm
Tom
Tom.
Butler.
I do a little show called the Fox 9 Morning News. Nice to see you.
for like
On
5
this
hours
Wednesday.
of the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm Shayne Wells, usually standing over there, but
Right.
hanging out at the desk today, filling in for Jason. We got to keep the show going.
We do. No audience Wednesday. It's a new thing we're starting. Let's look at the hot dish for you. Conan O'Brien's revamped late night show debuted last night after a 3-month hiatus, and it was really different.
It is. So it's just 30 minutes long, and right away he addressed those changes. Take a look.
Conan, when are you going to be done? Your dinner's getting cold.
Honey, I told you a million times I'm working twice as hard these days on the new show.
Twice as hard, the show's half as long. Don't you want to be with me?
Honey, of course I want to be with you. It's just this new show, it's taking every last fiber of my being.
There's so much change. Where's the band?
The band lives on a farm in upstate New York. They're very, very happy.
And what's with this casual new getup? I don't know what it is.
This is what the focus group liked the best.
And this set, I mean, what? It looks like a strip club in Grand Theft Auto.
Andy, we're still working out the lighting. Would you just get off my back?
That is an interesting set.
That's great. What is Andy? Is he wearing a robe?
Sure is.
Yeah. The debut show featured a cameo by a This Is Us star and an extended interview with Tom Hanks. Totally different format. The show is still set in Los Angeles, but will likely hit the road more often. They'll get out of the studio.
And there's no desk anymore.
No.
They didn't want to do the monologue, 2 guests, musical guests. So
The
they're
band,
switching
the
it
band
up.
apparently is in upstate New York now.
And very happy.
Very happy.
So happy.
Living on the farm.
We've all had that talk, haven't we?
I think so, yes.
All right, next up in the dish, Leno visited Watch What Happens Live last night, and Andy asked him about his relationship with another former late night host, David Letterman. Now, the two famously had a pretty cold relationship for the
Frosty.
better part of their career. Take a look at what Jay said.
Jay, has there been any talk about you going on Letterman's Netflix show?
I don't hear all the talk. I don't know. I mean, if somebody might be talking about it. I'm not aware of it.
Have they asked you to be on the show?
No.
I would like to see that.
I would love to see that.
I want to get into the nitty-gritty
Yes.
of all this.
Well, you guys don't have the show, so there you go.
If he asked
They're
you,
probably going, what have you ever been on Andy Cohen show?
if he asked you to go on that show, would you go on?
Sure, I'd go on.
You
Why not?
would. Yeah. When was the last time you talked to him?
Oh, I think it was probably near the end of both our shows. I think we just called,
Yeah.
The idea that we don't hate each other.
Right.
The media makes a big thing about it. I am a huge fan. When I started, Letterman was a great wordsmith. He could put things together, but he's kind of a hesitant performer. I was a very loud, boisterous performer, but I wasn't that good a writer. So I would watch him and go, oh man, how do you put those sentences together? And he'd watch me and go, how could you be so confident on stage? So I think we sort of took from each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you think he watched him and thought, how can I be more confident like Jay?
I don't know
Like he
about
might have
that.
put some words in his mouth.
Yeah, a little bit. That's interesting to hear because it's been a while, obviously, since they've spoken to one another. It's not like they were best buddies, and then the whole idea when we know that when Johnny Carson left The Tonight Show, it was supposed to be Dave's. Johnny wanted him to have the show. Dave was the main fill-in guy, and then the network went, no, we're going to keep you on the Late Late Show. They gave it to Jay, and then that's when, of course, David went over to CBS.
So this is a very long running, and it's like frenemies, kind of.
Yeah.
They respect each other, but kind of
Yeah, at bay a little bit.
Just a little bit.
There's too much history there, I think, yeah.
David's show, by the way, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, is filming its second season. It airs on Netflix. Kanye West is supposedly one of the guests, and I know people would tune in to see if he
That could be
had
the
Jay
whole
Leno on.
show right there.
I'm sure it is, actually, the entire episode.
Yep.
Some other things he said, I watched the whole thing, it was really interesting. He said Bill Clinton was the one guest that refused to go on his show back in the day because he thought maybe he made fun of him too much.
Really?
And he also addressed the Howard Stern beef. He was really open.
Yeah.
It was an interesting interview. All of that online. You can find it if you want to watch it.
Very
Hear
good.
what he had to say.
Yeah. Next in the dish, Anne Hathaway visiting Ellen yesterday, and she talked about why she's giving up booze, drinking for not just 1 decade, but 2 decades. Take a look at this.
Have you guys ever had to do a meeting hungover? You don't have to admit it. And so I was just kind of like stumbling in one eye open, and I was trying to convince him about certain things about my character. And at the end of it, I said, listen, I've got a confession. I was hungover the entire time. And he just goes, oh, really? I couldn't tell. And then 2 days later, we had another meeting, and I showed up. He said, oh, now I can.
Yeah, the difference between the other meeting. And then you quit drinking after that, right?
I did. I quit drinking back in October.
Like forever?
For 18 years.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna stop drinking while my son's living in my house, just because I don't totally love the way I do it, and he's getting to an age where he really does need me all the time in the mornings.
Wow.
Yeah. I did one school run one day where I dropped him off at school. I wasn't driving, but I was hungover, and that was enough for me. I didn't love that one.
Yeah. Another reason I don't want kids.
Love Ellen. The revelation came after she went bar hopping with her co-star Matthew McConaughey. All right. While they were filming Serenity in Africa, and that movie will come out this weekend. But what do you think about that? I mean, wow, good honor, I guess. But that just, to me, I wonder if she thinks she might have a problem, and that's why she's stopping. I mean, everything in moderation is kind of how I roll typically.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's a lofty goal. Like, do a New Year's resolution, like try 1 year. But also, like, a lot of reason people drink is because of children. She's going the opposite way.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, Shayne is saying
at the end of a tough day, a glass of wine is sometimes what you need.
Well, right.
Some people would say.
But I'm kind of surprised that Ellen didn't kind of want her to expand a little more on 18 years. That I'm giving up drinking for 8. That's quite the statement, and she can do it.
Do you think she can do it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know her situation. I don't know her tolerances and all of that. But
she could also have a drink at home and not tell anybody. We're never gonna know. 18 years later, she's like, I did it.
Yeah.
Crack open a bottle.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
How do you jump back into after a...
I always think of her as Princess Diaries still. My girls grew up with that, so it's to me, oh, look, it's Princess Diaries.
And probably still my favorite role of hers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up in the dish, the second episode of Celebrity Big Brother. Tom loves this show. Aired last night, and already moves are being made in the house. But if you wondered how Ryan Lochte was going to train for the 2020 Summer Olympics, his famous saying, we all use it, he's trapped in the house for a month. So how's he going to do it? Well, we have our answer.
I'm training for the 2020 Olympics, and outside in the backyard of the Big Brother house is an endless pool. I am psyched! This is amazing. My training will never stop.
USA! USA! Ryan! USA!
Ryan Lochte's gonna go in a pool. We're like, we're in. Popcorn. Nice shorts. Do they come in men's too?
Oh!
Dude, so crazy cool, dude.
He really is a good swimmer, isn't he?
Tom Green is so funny on this show. They just sat here and watched him for a long time. That's how bored they are.
And there's Kato. Kalen.
What a cast of characters.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, the drama on the show, by the way. So Ryan is head of household. He formed an alliance with Jonathan Bennett, Lolo Jones, Natalie Eva Marie, Tamar Braxton, and Candy Buress. I can't even say her last name right. But they wanted to invite Joey Lawrence, right?
Sure.
He does not want to be in an alliance. He's not interested.
Which
is an interesting move.
He's a lone wolf kind of guy?
But that's not good. You don't want to be alone because then you're a really easy target for people. So somehow he didn't end up going up on the block, though. Instead, it was Tom Green, the Mooch, and Jonathan Bennett. And I got to tell you right now, Tom Green can't go home, and neither can Jonathan because they're both like the most entertaining characters.
Scaramucci's out of here, you think?
In terms of entertainment value, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Yeah. But you're right, Tom Green.
So good.
I mean, we grew up watching him, and just the irreverent stuff that he would do and you're just like, you can't believe what you're watching, and you never know what's going to come out of his
Remember
mouth.
that famous hit song of his? My bum is on,
yes.
and he would that was all the song was?
That's pretty much it.
Go Google it. You'll never get out of your head.
Now
You'll hate us
it's
all
there.
morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Finally, there's a trend in Hollywood, and it involves older women going after younger guys. Priyanka Chopra, 10 years older than Nick Jonas from the Jonas Brothers. Kate Beckinsale, she's 45, dating a 21-year-old. Busy Phillips talked about the trend earlier this week on her show Busy Tonight. Here's that.
Naomi Campbell and One Direction star Liam Payne have apparently been exchanging flirty comments on Instagram and reportedly spent New Year's Eve together. Just for reference, Naomi is a smoking 48 years young and Liam is 25 years old. Younger guys have it all. Abs, energy, and like a working understanding of feminism. For one easy sacrifice of no bed frame or top sheet, you too can date a hot young guy. Do you remember those days when you walk in, you're like, a mattress on the ground? Okay.
Like that's a bad thing. What do you think about that? I mean, I know you're married to a younger man. It's all right. It's okay to come clean on that.
6 months.
6 months.
But I will fully admit that I did have a nickname
Yes.
when I was younger.
What was that?
Before I was married.
Yes.
It was Puma. I was a cougar in training, is what they called me.
very
Because I
nice.
was too young to be like a full-on cougar.
Right. So you always
But
kind
I-
of like the younger fellas a little bit? I
do, yeah. It's
Nothing wrong
true.
with that. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me permission. There is nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that. I knew
that's
what I
good.
was doing.
That's good. Puma. That sounds more, I don't know, distinguished, certainly. than cool.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm a Washington State Cougar, though. I'm pretty proud of that.
I know you said you were a cougar because your wife's younger. I was like, that's not how that works.
No.
And then it's too literal.
Totally different.
Anyway, still ahead. Drew Barrymore visited Stephen Colbert last night. She showed off a hidden talent.
Oh, can't wait to see that. Plus, thrift stores are seeing an influx of stuff thanks to a new show on Netflix. Shayne went to see some of that stuff at a local thrift store. We'll see what kinds of things she found. And this is pretty cool stuff.
It's interesting. And then wait until you see what you can do with it all. Organizing guru Douglas Marshall is here. He's going to help us and talk us through how to organize all your stuff. We're talking about that tidying up type show. All right, we'll have all that coming up after the break.
I may be known as a hoarder at our house.
Are you?
A little bit.
And because I've been around teeth my dad's an orthodontist, my mom's a dental hygienist, I have a brother who's a dentist, periodontist. I mean, we are in it to win it.
Yeah.
I do like to dispense advice though, as if I were a PhD.
What sort of advice do you dispense?
For one thing, dentists are not going to be happy with me. When your kid has baby teeth, you do not need to be taking them to the dentist all the time.
Really? Okay.
That is absolute fallacy. Those teeth are leaving anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the thing, is you really don't need to be x-raying these teeth and all this stuff that's going to go away. You can get one x-ray, make sure there's not something really crazy going on, and move
But
on with
mostly
your
you just
life.
want your kids to be like, don't get attached to these guys.
Right?
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
fall in love, guys. You got real teeth coming.
Yeah, don't fall in love and then wait for the tooth fairy. Wait till you forget that the tooth fairy is supposed to come, and then you put silver dollars in their car seat in the car and make up that they couldn't get in the house.
Happens. It
Oh,
happens.
boy. That's our late night rewind. That's Andrea Savage on set with Seth Meyers. She is the host of True TV's I'm Sorry, which is currently in its second season. And we are just sitting here talking, and I'm taking Karis to the dentist today, who's full of baby teeth.
And I'm going to the dentist for my my checkup and cleaning later today. So there you go. It's a dentist kind of. Don't you love going to the dentist?
I was actually dreading today for the last month,
So great.
taking children to the dentist.
There was this dental hygienist at where we go, who's from, I think, one of the Eastern Bloc countries originally.
Okay.
And she had this great accent. Pava was her name. She was great. But she was a dentist over there. Here, she couldn't, for some reason, couldn't get her degree or whatever, couldn't get accredited as a dentist. So she did the cleaning. And every time, she was good, but every time it's like, oh, there's the blood. She's drawn blood now, and she's.
Oh, and you could taste it.
She was really good, and there was one time Allie, my younger daughter, was in there, and Allie was, not having too much fun with it, and she's like, You're biting me, Allie, Allie, you're biting me. So that comes up in conversation all the time.
That's how you get her to back off
You
just
bet
a little bit. Just give her a little nip.
You're biting me. More hot dish for you right now. Staying with the late night theme, Drew Barrymore was a guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. She's promoting her new talent show, which is called The World's Best, premiering right after the Super Bowl. Drew also revealed her hidden talent.
Do you have a secret talent? Are you the world's best at something?
I like picking up stuff with my feet a lot. You know, if you're, like when you got to get it done, the foot is an extra hand. There is a woman out there, Blanche, who completely understands exactly what I'm talking about. Especially when you have kids.
I mean, do we call that like a real extreme talent?
It's certainly a hidden one that's not hidden anymore. Now, Drew is a judge on the show along with Faith Hill and RuPaul. So I now have to ask you, Shayne, do you have any hidden talent?
Well, the music's rolling, so apparently.
Oh, come on.
They're playing us out. Just kidding.
Come on.
Well, sort of. It was a hidden talent.
Yes.
I could do the worm. You know, like the worm?
Yes. Like.
It turns out, though, as you get older, those
not
muscles
so
and
good.
the flexibility is not quite there.
Yes.
And one time after a few drinks, I was like telling everyone how I could do the worm. It didn't go well.
So that was like at a party kind of fun thing.
It was at a bar.
You break
I
it
did
out
it at a
or
bar.
I can do the one-arm push-ups with both arms.
Wait,
I mean,
still?
like left. Oh yeah. But I mean, that's what I whipping off.
Yeah. The challenges are because you say you can
jib
still
7, Leo, jib 7 on that one. You ready?
Tom. Whoa! No way!
That's it. I'm done.
Wow.
Not bad. And
Okay, I'm impressed. You can still
wearing
do
a
your
suit
talent.
is a little tougher to do that.
What
I'll be
do
honest.
you mean? And your nice dress shoes.
Exactly.
Quite bend.
I know the shoes are going like this. I'm going. This is going to turn into the splits, and that's not going to be pleasant for anyone.
Is that a first for you? Doing that on air?
On air, it is.
Okay.
That is a first.
Awesome.
Mark this day. It's a red letter day for me.
It is very exciting.
Still ahead, a local craftsman. He's in the house. He'll help us get our creative kind of Valentine's Day thing going on.
But next, I'm off to the thrift store to see what kind of things people are donating these days, and if there's anything I can add to my own collection. We'll be right back.
I've got macaroni art. Bunch of it.
I think it's time to donate that.
Hi, Shayne.
Sweet sound.
I like
that.
Feeling sassy. Welcome back. It is one of the newest Netflix hits of the new year, all about getting rid of your junk. I got lots of that. And organizing your home, which we all want to do.
And need to. A lot of people have been inspired by tidying up with Marie Kondo. It's leading to a major boost in donations to thrift stores. So I decided, why not hit up a local Arcs Value Village to see what people are parting ways with. To see how this new Netflix special, Tidying Up, is kind of influencing people across the Twin Cities, we came to a very busy spot right now. This is Arcs Value Village thrift store in Bloomington. Not the prettiest background we've ever had, but this is what's necessary here. We have Molly King. You've probably noticed some changes in donations and what people are donating these days.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of donations. The key is that we're getting better donations. So people are going through their closets a little sooner, not waiting until it's been in there for decades, and they're realizing this doesn't spark joy, and they're donating it. So you just drive on up in your car, and our staff runs out, take it right out of your trunk, they put it into a bin, they bring it in here, and it starts the process.
So we went from the first room that donations come through into almost feels like a warehouse.
Yeah,
It's just really the back of the store.
Everything then gets sorted and tagged, and then from there they push out to the sales floor. All the clothes are hung by size and color, and then the shoppers come in the front door where it all is lovely and waiting for them to find something that sparks joy.
To find treasure. These are all prom dresses that have been donated, or dance dresses.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's a party down there.
Look at that.
And that one's not it.
I mean, I went to prom in the 80s. This wouldn't have been allowed. It's too
short,
it's,
no straps.
Yeah, it's too not poofy enough. Ooh.
Oh my. Well, I think I'll be
Look
ready
it.
for my pageant.
This must be the fringe pile.
Somebody did not have any joy with fringe anymore, but there was a time. I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. Now, pass it on to someone else. Lake Como Landing, that's George Clooney's place.
Oh my gosh. I'll buy it.
This is probably George's
I'll buy it.
picture.
It's probably George. I think a mall came in and said, this does not spark joy for me, George.
Most interesting thing you've come across?
Well, there's the most interesting, valuable things, like we sold a diamond necklace for $1,800. And then there's the strange, mundane things we find, like somebody's kidney stones. And everything in between.
Where were these kidney stones?
In a jar, in liquid. Another interesting item was we found actually a German Nazi sniper scope from World War II. We ended up selling that online for $16.75. You know, somebody who donates them may or may not know they have value, but it's our job to know the value and to raise the money for charity. And so we want people to bring whatever they've got, and we'll sort it, we'll deal with it, and we'll make money for charity for it.
And then tell stories about it later.
And then tell stories about it later.
Keep your kidney stones to yourself, right?
Please, please.
I would have bought the kidney stones.
I would
have bought them.
The benefit for someone to shop here, obviously price is one of them, but what else have you found?
It's a treasure hunt, and you find these things that are one of a kind and you've always wanted it, and it's really cheap, and the thrill of finding that is just so much fun. But the whole reason for our being is to raise money for people with Down syndrome and autism, so you're shopping with a purpose. You're not going to get that at other stores.
And after all this, I had to go back to the prom dresses. I just had to, for old time's sake, try on a prom dress. And I love it. Right, Eric? You have to try on one of those dresses. Right, Eric? Right, Eric?
The scary thing is, I actually like this. I think it's not a bad look.
That's you, definitely.
You want to try one on too?
he's like Tinkerbell on steroids. What in the world?
Eric, so
Oh my
pretty.
gosh. Yours look great. I know your mom's watching. She's probably, oh, honey, that looks so cute on you.
I sent her a picture actually
Yeah.
of Eric and I yesterday, and she wrote back and said, that's a great color on Eric. That's
Oh,
all she said.
It does bring
It's
out
all
your
about
eyes, Eric. It really does.
Made a good choice.
Really nice.
And thank you again, Arcs Value Village.
Yeah.
They let us in. That was the Bloomington location at France and Old Shakopee
That's
Road,
great.
but they're all across the metro.
A lot of treasures there, right?
Yeah, that was
Hidden
fun.
treasures.
That was
Good
fun.
stuff.
I wish I could have stayed and actually done a little digging.
Great.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. He cut down his shoe collection by 30 pairs. 30. So if he can do it, maybe we can do it. We'll see if we can get our lives organized with the help of Douglas Marshall.
And then it's never too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day, especially if you're gonna build something, make your own creation. Gibson Shoemaker will join us. We'll be right back.
Oh, very good. Power tools?
Of course.
Oh boy.
I have all these ideas and I need to put them somewhere, so I don't want to throw these away. And then this is just a GQ of Ryan Gosling. I want to read it at some point because he's really handsome. These pens bring me a lot of joy. So do I just keep them? Do I get more of them? What do I do?
もうもちろん取っておくべきです。
Okay. Well, sometimes I want to buy like 50.
50本持ってることときめきますか？
Yeah, it makes me really happy.
ああ、それだったらしょうがないですね。
Can we do two more things? Here's the thing. This all, I feel like needs to go. This is insane. This is a cable for I don't know what. And this is my old MacBook that I just don't want anyone to find.
That is a clip from the Netflix show Tidying Up, starring Marie Kondo. She's an organizing queen. She's revolutionizing cluttered closets across the country. And that show really has spread like wildfire. It's motivating viewers to clean up their lives while getting rid of a lot of stuff, a lot of junk. Our next guest is a pro at decluttering. He has done this entire method too. Give it up for lifestyle expert Douglas Marshall. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
This is actually the first time that we had you on was to talk about this, and this was before this show came around and that it really took off, so you were way ahead of the trend.
Well, I didn't think I was ahead of the trend because the book originally came out, Marie Kondo's The Magical Joy of Tidying Up came out in 2011. It hit the US in 2014, and I did it in 2017. And I felt like I was late to the game, but I also felt like the minimalist trend was getting big. Netflix had documentaries about people paring down, yet living fuller lives. Tidy homes. And then, like a bomb, the Netflix show dropped on January 1st when everybody's got their New Year's resolutions.
And has a little more time on their hands, too, at the holidays.
A little more time, and everybody's like binge watching it while they're avoiding cleaning out their closets. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm relevant once again. It's like I was ahead of the curve. I didn't think I was.
You were still relevant because we were just putting yogurt on our faces for beauty trends just about a month ago. If you missed that one, find that on YouTube. That's a good one.
I'm just full of useful info.
You are. Okay, so you did this. We have pictures. Talk about, you got rid of 50% of your stuff.
50%, and that sounds crazy. I don't know how much you or people know about the book, but you basically take everything out of your closets and drawers and put it in a pile, and then you pick everything up to see if it sparks joy. And if it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. And the idea behind that is Marie Kondo, this Japanese decluttering expert who's been doing it since she was like 6, fully believes that if we are holding on to things that no longer serve us, it actually weighs us down, it holds us back in life, it keeps us from getting promotions, it keeps us having thriving love lives. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this. And I didn't think it was gonna work, but when you actually hold up a t-shirt.
What is that we're looking at?
That is 62 pairs of shoes that
oh my gosh.
crammed into my closet. I am a sneaker collector.
Clearly.
I love sneakers. And when I held up each pair to see if it sparked joy, I got rid of 32 pairs. I cut my shoe collection down by half. And what's interesting—
Did you miss it, though? Was there any pair? Oh, you did.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, seriously. I still sometimes look at that picture of 62 shoes, like scanning it to be like, oh, those Nike high tops. Like there were 2 pairs of high tops that I wore all the time that I thought I loved. When I held them up, they didn't spark joy. And I was like, how is this possible?
Right.
And I still sometimes look at that picture being like, do I wish I still had them? And I don't. I don't know why, but I don't. And the book promises that. It promises 2 things. It promises that you pretty much won't miss what you get rid of. And it also promises that if you get rid of X amount of things, X amount will flow into your life to replace it. So maybe like some good vibes, maybe more money, maybe other clothes, who knows? It promises that if you get rid of, you make room for other things to flow into your life. It's very spiritual. I'm not gonna say it's not somewhat spiritual, cathartic, and moving, and it's emotional. It's not like, oh, I'm cleaning my closet. It's like, it's emotions, like people who emotionally shop. I mean, we did our segment in July of how to shop like on a budget and only buy things that you love. I used the KonMari, like the principles of it to do that.
And you still follow this to this day. Have you gone back through?
As I prepared for this segment and read old blog posts that I've written, which are kind of like a user's manual, I think at this point, I was like, maybe I should do this again. The book promises that you won't fall back into cluttering again. I don't know that that's 100% true, but I also think that's human. I think sometimes we fall off the path, and it's like, it's not how many times you fall off the path or don't fold your laundry, it's how quickly you come back.
Speaking of folded laundry.
Those were all my clothes that sparked joy. So that was the 50% that was left, and you can see how happy I am. All that pile of garbage, or no, it was not garbage, all that pile of clothes that was on my floor,
like
all my clothes.
Are those all the ones you got rid of?
That was the stuff I donated. You donate this, you give it another life to somebody else.
So somebody else gets joy out of it.
13 bags. What ended up happening is I thought it was going to take forever to sort through those piles on the floor. 5.5 hours. Like 20 years worth of clothes, some stuff that I was saving or hoarding. And this doesn't mean I'm a hoarder. It just, we have more stuff than we think we do. So when you actually take it out of your closet, and I overhear people saying, oh, I'm sort of doing the Marie Kondo method, but I'm not taking everything out. I don't need to. And I'm like, it's not about whether you think you need to or not. It's to do it thoroughly and get it all done. The stuff will reveal to you what stays and what goes, and it has like another life afterwards. Do it. It took far less time than I thought it would, and it really has freed me up.
And we have a picture too, I think an after picture that we were going to show.
Here's some after pictures.
Look how organized that closet looks.
And if you did come to my house today, it does look like that. I still stall on folding laundry. I still struggle with it, but when I do, I feel better.
What about, I think some people would worry, I know we don't have a lot of time here, but that they're lying to themselves. You know what I mean? You're almost like, oh, I think that sparks joy.
Right.
Like you could just lie to yourself through this.
You could lie to yourself and it's
But I
going to
guess
let
that
you
isn't
know
gonna help
later.
you.
Seriously, if you actually try to do this process and you say like, oh yeah, it sparks joy because it was $300, like price isn't a factor. If you've only worn it twice, it's not a factor. If your grandmother who's no longer alive gave it to you, it's not really a factor. It's not about guilt. It's about if it doesn't spark the joy, don't keep it. And if you sort of keep it, it will be blaring and yelling at you in your closet. You'll start feeling guilty and then you'll finally be ready. You might not be ready now, but you'll get ready. It's just it's a process, it's a method. They don't call it that for nothing.
And you were going to stick around with us after the break. We're going to actually...
I'm never leaving.
Never leaving. Good,
Never
because you're
going.
fun. We actually took Facebook comments from viewers who have some comments, questions about kind of this method. So you're going to answer those or at least reflect on them.
Happy to do it.
Coming right up after the break. Welcome back. We are joined still by lifestyle expert Douglas Marshall and Tom Butler.
I was just telling you, I just got rid of a bunch of old pants and shirts and like garbage sack size, huge, and it felt pretty good. It felt good. It did.
See?
Yeah. On the show yesterday, on the page yesterday, we asked you what you would want to tidy up in your home, and we got some great comments from a lot of viewers, right?
Yep.
So let's start out first up with Heidi. She says, I've been tidying up for a few weeks now, and I'm struggling on what to do with all my pictures. Do I just put them all in a photo box, maybe on a shelf? What do you tell that person?
Okay, Heidi, I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I haven't done my pictures either. And I did this in May of 2017. And here's why, and I will say this as a tip to anybody. When you read the book, if you read Marie Kondo's book, some of the stuff is really extreme. And I didn't follow it. I'd say I followed it about 88%, not 100. I don't fold my socks the way she says. Not all of my pants are like folded standing up. The photos are a hard one for me too, and they're not hurting anybody by sitting in my closet. So, Heidi, take your time with it. Like, give yourself time, wait a couple months, see how you feel. If you never do it, big deal. Like the fact that you're trying it all, bless you.
Yeah. And if you have duplicates, certainly, you can get rid of duplicate pictures, that kind of thing. But I have a hard time throwing away pictures of people. You know,
I have a hard time deleting pictures. I have 65,000 pictures on my phone.
Oh my
I'm a picture hoarder.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same way
At
on
least
my
that's
phone.
digital space. Digital space. I mean, I guess that costs too, right?
Yeah.
Next up, we got Lisa. She says, I've watched only 2 episodes and I've been on a mission. Today alone, I cleaned out my entryway closet, 2 bathroom closets, and organized my junk drawer.
Wow.
Should you do it like every day like that?
What? And then she wasn't done there?
Oh, she keeps going.
Keep going, Lisa.
Last week I organized my playroom, went through all my books, decluttered our office. This feels amazing. Lisa, can you come to my house?
Yeah. So is it okay to go whole hog like that and do everything all at once, or should you kind of do it in stages?
All at once if you can. Marie talks about that, like doing it in one foul swoop, don't delay, because then you'll start negotiating with yourself of like, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I won't give this away, and then you kind of fall away with it. I say go as rapidly as you can, as long as you don't have an emotional breakdown. I will say this, some people's emotions are so closely tied to this. If you start, there are people that do this professionally. I do this professionally. I'm a good emotional support. I'll hold your hand through it. I feel like sometimes if it's too much too soon and you're starting to feel really triggered and it might cause you to act out in other ways, take a step back and take your time. But Lisa, you go girl, like do it. Like there's nothing too fast. Like the more we hold on to our stuff, the more it might hold us back from life. So good for you.
I like that. Camilla shared this on our Facebook page. I purged way too much and I really regret it now. So there's that side of the coin too.
Where did you donate it to, Camilla? Can you buy it back? Can you beg it back?
Real quick.
Here's what I have to say for you, Camilla, is really, it might feel awful at first. Sometimes it's just getting used to something new, and those things could be tied to emotions, and not having them could be really hard or triggering. Make space and make room for new things to flow in. Pay attention to those feelings and why you're feeling that way, and give it some time and believe that it's gonna work for you even if it doesn't feel good right now, and wait for the miracle. I promise you, like a few months from now, I really do promise you won't regret it. I really don't think you will. And if it does feel like you're regretting it, slow down, take a step back, and just just honor that. Honor your own pace. Don't beat yourself up.
Listen to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. And Betsy, she has, a comment dilemma. She says, I saved everything for my children's school, report cards, art projects, papers. My kids are now in their 40s. I need to throw the stuff out, but I have a hard time since I've saved them for so long.
Is that my mom? Is that she said that? That's my mom.
Betsy's asking for a friend. No, Betsy, awesome. I love that. You've held on to all this sentimentality about your kids. You love them. You care for them deeply. They're in their 40s, and you enjoyed them when you got them. It's okay to let go of it, and this is what Marie Kondo says. We get rid of the stuff, we don't get rid of the memories. You get to hold on to that. So, and also you thank things before you get rid of them. So you can hold up that like Valentine that your child gave to you, and you can honor what you felt when you got it, but you know that you don't need it. Your daughter or son won't care. Like, they're like, Ma, why do you still have that? And so honor how you felt when you first got it, and then release it. And it's okay. You get rid of the stuff. You don't get rid of the memories. It's foolproof. Just, Betsy, do it.
Great advice.
Betsy, Betty, all of you, do it.
Yeah, to everyone.
To everyone.
Douglas Marshall, thank you so much for joining us again. Your blog?
theworldofdoug.com, and I wrote a whole blog post about all this stuff, my top 10 tips, and links to the
really
segment
good
that I
info.
came on like a year and a half ago.
Right.
Perfect.
Theworldofdoug.com or Instagram, The World of Doug.
Very good.
Sounds good.
It's been a cathartic process for me as well.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks for
You guys
being
are the
here.
best.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Thank you.
We're giving you up ahead some ideas for Valentine's Day, but you'll have to get your toolbox out to make these items. That means power tools, Shayne.
Oh boy. I don't even have a toolbox. We'll be right back.
That's my power tools.
You're ahead.
Leo, Jip 5 on that would be good.
Thank you, Leo. Good work. We're still a few weeks away from Valentine's Day, but if you were planning to do something maybe a little bit different, you're going to build something for your significant other, well, you might want to get started.
Yeah, here to show us what we can make for our loved ones for Valentine's Day, local craftsman Gibson Shoemaker. Nice to have you here, Gibson.
He's back.
Nice to see you guys both.
Okay, so first up, you're going to show us two projects, and then you're actually going
Yeah.
to demonstrate one. So what are kind of some ideas that
And
you
so
have?
the whole running theme with this is that you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. At the end of the day, everybody's going to go out to dinner. They're going to do the gifts and everything. But at some point, it's nice to slow down and just make something. And kind of following the whole organizational idea.
Yeah.
It's also a nice way to get rid of stuff that happens to be piling up in the garage.
Yep.
So we can do functional, we can do quirky, or anything in between. This over here is basically a glorified honeydew list. My wife actually made most of this, and I helped her out at the end. And it's not so much that I made a glorified honeydew list, it's my willingness to do the glorified honeydew list.
Right.
That's the real gift.
really
follow
put
through
yourself out there.
Yeah,
on the list.
exactly.
I
So
understand that.
when you go into this, know full well that it's going to get used. It's not going to sit idly by.
True.
So no matter what, it's happening. And my wife claims that I've never looked better than when I'm vacuuming. So there's that.
So when I do the dishes, my wife calls that foreplay.
Exactly.
So just right there. I'm just
You
telling
know.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, we got quirky. So, this is simple. It's just basically an old light bulb. You can yank the guts out of it.
Oh.
I put a couple wires in there in the shape of hearts.
Does this work?
No,
cute. It does
that would
work.
be awesome though.
Yeah,
wouldn't
right.
it? On the front, I took like, these were little pieces from like a travel Scrabble.
was
So
gonna
it
say, it looks
says,
like
yeah,
Scrabble,
you light me up. You can also personalize it. So on the back, if you flip it around.
Flip it around here.
That is me in all my glory grainy pixelation with my gladiator's hat in a personalized message. So basically it says, you're the light of my life. I would burn down an evil empire for you.
I
love Gipsicus.
I love it. That's
So
great.
injecting some humor in it is always part of it. And so it's just have fun with it. That's kind of the point here. This isn't meant to be kept for the long haul. So honestly, if my wife threw that away a year from now, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
and
It was
looks
meant
like
to
you
be
used
fun
a
right
post.
now.
You cut a little piece of post off, and
How long
there it
does
is.
that? I mean, obviously you're a professional, but for someone who's maybe not super talented.
So
with that
weirdly
stuff-
enough, the light bulb was the real issue. That probably took 20 minutes or so because it's all, now I know how a light bulb is made. It's a lot of glass, and it's wear your safety goggles when you're doing it because it's a fine balance. But that's number 2.
Yeah.
Just to
Gotcha.
put it that way.
Okay, Yeah, right. yep.
So with all that being said, we're actually going to move on and do something really simple.
Okay.
This is basically just a simple shadow box idea. So you can get really intricate with it. People can put glass in it, things like that. But at the same time, so what happens around our house, we recently moved, into a much smaller house, and we did the downsizing thing, got rid of half everything we own, and kind of realized we didn't really miss anything. And it's more fun for us to put little things like this around the house that maybe only have a 3-month shelf life. And at the end of it, we don't feel bad about moving on because it took a couple hours of our day, it was fun, and now we aren't married. We didn't spend 40 bucks on it.
Yeah, and you're using recycled wood,
exactly.
that type of thing.
So the hardest part of the whole thing really is just the frame. So we started that. I just grab, so nothing goes to waste around our house. We have a very small footprint, to say the least. And so any wood I find like this, any scrap wood, ends up in, we try to keep it manageable to a point and kind of go through it. But I never waste a lot of time on brand new stuff. I'm not a perfectionist kind of guy.
You know, and it has more character when it's kind of distressed like that.
I feel like it
That's
does
the trend
too.
anyway right now.
Exactly.
The
So
farmhouse, farm wood type look.
this is going to be the back of it. So we're actually going to spray some glue on here real quick just so we can let that set up.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Tom?
Yeah, just,
This doesn't
Just came
have
from
to
the dry
be
cleaner.
super
Like,
high
behind
tech
me.
or anything. We're just trying to get it so it holds still long enough for us to nail it to the back later.
Okay.
So we'll
And
do
you can
that.
pick out probably any print.
So
or
you
paper.
could use
And I'm getting a
blueprints.
contact high just from the spray. Hello.
That's
Hello.
That's
This
the
is a fun
secondary.
show.
So if you want to actually give me a hand here and kind
yeah,
of
look
help me lean into that a
you're
little
in there.
bit.
What do you need? Just,
That is a big
Just kind
tool.
of hold it
Oh,
right
just hold
there
it,
so
yeah.
I'm not sliding around.
Yep, you got it.
So the reality of this is the brad nails are fairly long.
Yep.
Fingers,
Yes,
they
be
find
careful.
fingers. So it's not a perfect science. So you want to make sure that your hands are always clear
Yes.
and free.
Very good.
Do one more.
Yeah.
And then let's flip it around and get this side.
You ever done any of this? Tom?
I've used a nail gun.
You want to try it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. There, I'll be the
Well, don't
holder.
aim
All right. And we'll just do one there.
Perfect.
And one more. All
I
right.
knew you were up for it. I
There
saw
you
you
go.
at a Menards once.
Exactly.
So I knew you were
exactly.
my guy.
I love the Menards.
Alrighty. So let's, right like this. So again, we're just going to tack this into place. And we'll try to be quick about it. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So already,
Look at
That's
that.
nice.
they were sitting
that.
there. So that's cute.
We got our shadow box.
There you go.
Now, and then what would we're almost out of time, but what would you put inside of this? You've got some different items here.
So really, like it's a lot of found stuff again. So this one is basically just going to get laid out. We're going to lay a couple of spoons in there. Here's some wire to put that in there. You can put the handle on if you want. At the end of the day, we made a little sign. Spooning since 1992.
Oh, come on now.
Very nice.
And then you just wire that in. So it's easy enough just to pop a couple holes in there, put the wire through, and then that's
the result.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
That's
So
cute.
anything like the handle, that's all. And if people just really don't love that whole raw thing, you can do dry brushing, which is kind of just barely paint on there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that cleans it up pretty quickly.
Right.
So
And then you've got a homemade Valentine's gift for your Valentine, and it's going to
Exactly.
mean something, right?
Cute.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and
Appreciate it.
that's clever too. With the
and if you could
spooning.
find a picture of you two actually spooning, that's bonus.
Even
but-
that's a bonus. But that drives home the point right there. That's
Exactly.
nicely done.
Thank you.
Good ideas.
Yeah.
For more on his work, you can find him on Instagram at Gibson Makes Stuff. Gibson
we
with
go.
a P.
Yes.
That's right.
GibsonMakesStuff.com.
The P in there.
All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Yeah, that's good.
And then the handle here. Put that in.
Oh. Welcome back to the Jason Show. We are joined again by Douglas Marshall because we had more questions from our
We do.
Facebook friends.
Now, Don Andy sent us a picture of his DVD collection.
Oh.
I know this well. He says,
Yes,
I have
Don.
a movie collection and addiction problem. Can you help me re-alphabetize? Wow. He's not kidding around. What do you do with something like that?
I mean, if he just wants to alphabetize, I do charge hourly. But you have to have the alphabet chart. I need a chart.
Yeah.
And then do you start if there's a the I mean, Tom is his name. If you love your DVDs, keep them. Like if they're causing you distress, like you feel like your walls are caving in on you, literally, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that.
And you don't need DVDs anymore. Like most of the movies are streaming.
I mean, I still do have a DVD player to watch some Sex and the City DVDs that I spent a lot of money on, but yeah, I still have some VHS stuff. Like I need at my parents' house. I need to get rid of it. But like, if it's not making you feel claustrophobic and it really brings you joy, keep it.
I see the audiophile in me. I looked at that and went, "That's kind of cool looking." Seriously, I kind of thought it was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So, I understand.
It's like a wallpaper.
I get it.
Tomorrow on the show, the best warm and cozy spots in the metro to enjoy a meal. Plus, our foodie queen, Stephanie Hansen, reveals her favorite kitchen tools that every home should have. And cats are going to take over. Yeah, they're going to be here in the studio. We love cats. Hashtag we love cats. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one.
I like how you both did your cat.